Hey everybody, this is Lala Legacy and welcome back to another episode of Little Busters. So, if you haven't already, subscribe because that would mean the absolute world to me. And let's get into this. I whispered into her ear while the prefects furiously knit their brows. Hmm, it's okay. Didn't I say something good? Okay, just be quiet. Mm, if you say so, I'm just gonna grumble silently. Uh, anyway, is that what happened, Haruka-san? Mm, she nodded sullenly. We don't believe you. Why's that? She's just speaking nonsense as always. The freshman prefect was, obstinate. What's this really all about? But it does look as though they just fell out of the vending machine. If she did hit the machine, wouldn't the dent still be visible? That's true, but the vending machine didn't have as much as a scratch. This was indeed what you'd call lucky. But there's no evidence that she didn't do it either. You're so stubborn. Well, what can you expect with a leader like that? Still, I know you guys have to do this because it's your job. This wasn't getting us anywhere. So the problem is that someone got juice for free, right? Well, if you put it that way, yes. Haruka-san, can you give me the money I gave you earlier? Don't tell me you're really going to give it to them! Exactly, where is it? In my pocket? Can I also have the juice you bought me? Even though it was so lucky. But at this rate, you'll have to give it up anyway. I took the can from Haruka-san, who was still cradling them in her arms. Oh, well, here, take it! Haruka-san thrust the change at the prefects. In other words, it's the same as buying it. Reluctantly, the prefects finally nodded. Let's go, Haruka-san. We walked away from there. Yeah, screw those girls. That was a disaster. Even though I was so lucky! Haruka-san kept complaining on the way back to the classroom. I thought I'd just buy some crazy juice with the extra cash. Like strawberry jam juice or maximum coffee. And then we could have made little Kud drink it. It would have definitely been interesting. Oh well. I just quietly gave her my ear. I knew how she must feel. Who wouldn't be offended when someone branded them as a thief with no definite reason? How could those prefects accuse her like that, even after she insisted she hadn't done anything wrong? Well, when you cry wolf enough times. But I didn't think she would really do such things. But Riki-kun, you... Eh? Since she had mumbled them, I asked her to repeat the words of gratitude. Thank you, I said, for believing in me. And she smiled a little. This smile was different from her usual insolent grin. For some reason, it made my heart race. It's not that big of a deal. Haruka-san placed her hand on her hip and spun around to me, and skipped backwards in dancing steps. Riki-kun, you really... right? What do you mean, right? Riki-kun's blushing! Never mind that. Look where you're going. You'll be in trouble again if you bump into someone. Okay, right you are. Are you even listening to me? As if she didn't hear me, Haruka-san continued her merry gait. Welcome back! Sorry I'm late. The tea is all cold now. Please forgive me. She clapped her hands together and bowed apologetically to Kud. Are you gonna go? There we go. It's no problem. Did something happen? We ran into the disciplinary committee. They don't seem to understand the meaning of the word leniency. Maybe the pride of helping run the school is getting to their heads. They're almost like gods then? If they're like gods, maybe we could give them an offering and they'll grant our wishes. They have no concept of flexibility. They never do anything that wasn't in their own interests. But yeah, sorry, Riki-kun. She held her left hand in front of her face in the most apologetic gesture she could conjure. Well, anyway, let's eat. Oh, wait, I didn't bring a lunch. Don't worry about it. I've got a whole mountain of muffins here. I'll share them with you. I've got lots of dried seaweed and kelp, too. If you'd like, you can have some. All right, thanks. And so my lunch turned out to be a very strange mixture. After washing my face, I left to run an errand for the dorm head. I walked over toward the school building. Even though it's a holiday, how unfair. I was still a little sleepy. What a big yawn! Good kids should make sure to get a good night's sleep. With those words, something was shoved into my mouth. Without understanding what was going on, I almost choked. What? All of a sudden, I rolled whatever it was on top of my tongue. Candy? Yep, an orange-flavored candy. Haruka-san appeared in front of me and stuck her tongue out. Ah, it was such a cute pink. Sitting on her tongue was a small amber-colored candy. I didn't understand any of that, Haruka-san. I got a full set of flavors from Komari-chan. Except mint, that is. You don't like mint? It tastes sort of like medicine, so I hate it. Anyway, morning, Riki-kun. Good morning, Haruka-san. It was a little late to be wishing good morning, but saying good day would be kind of strange at this hour, too. So I returned a good morning as well. Haruka-san, how come you're here on a day off? What about you, Riki-kun? The dorm had asked me to go pick up something she forgot. Is that so? What about you? Club activity? But you're not in one. School maintenance committee meeting. You're so diligent. Like that time with the broken desk. I recalled that incident. Huh? Haruka-san was scowling. Riki-kun, what are you talking about? I'm not diligent at all. I don't want to hear such a boring, rational, down-to-earth, and worthless word like diligent. It's nothing but a pointless facade. I'm just a tough nut who does whatever she wants. I get it. Sorry. Haruka-san kicked her shoe against the linoleum in irritation. To see her in such a sullen mood was shocking. Well, whatever. Since I ran into Riki-kun, work's over for today. Hey, you shouldn't take such a careless attitude about it. It's fine. Don't worry about it. She waved her left hand dismissively. Come on, let's play. With that energetic shout, Haruka-san grabbed my hand and started walking, pulling me along. That was fun! We'll need to apologize to the broadcasting committee later. I was finally released after we'd made a racket in the broadcast room. Later, Riki-kun! Hey, wait, Haruka-san! This mic is... Where is this mic from? By the time I had called out the vain question, Haruka-san's figure had already disappeared behind the corner of the school building. So it turned out like this after all. My shoulders slumped in defeat. After school, it was still a little early for dinner. It was unusual for there to be this many people around. Our table's the only empty one. Looks like it's treated as reserved for us. Now I'm seated, but there's nothing at all here. Then don't sit down yet. The lunch ticket machine is crowded. Yeah, it is. Did you think food was gonna magically appear? Stupid brother. You just don't get it, huh? Even though the first seat has already been taken? Rin vaulted the back of the nearest chair to sit on it. Crap. Kengo and Masato rushed to sit down. I also reached for a chair. How did it go? Did I win? Last place is Masato. Whoa! Masato was sent to stand at the end of the line. His head stuck out above the rest, so it was easy to track his progress. All right, coming through. Watch the load. The crowd parted as Masato came back carrying 3 trays at once. There you go. He set the trays down on the table. They were all udon sets. All of them had different toppings. Kyosuke quickly grabbed the tray with the tempura udon. Is this also survival of the fastest? Rin took the udon with the mochi. Kengo gestured for me to go ahead, so I took the remaining kitsune udon. All of them came with raw egg. The period when we could get fresh eggs from the farmers lasted until the rainy season. Fresh eggs at the very end of their season were the tastiest. Masato returned with the last 2 trays. This triple serving's mine. The lunch lady had really piled on the toppings. The udons looked more like beef bowls the way they were stacked. Then I guess this one's mine. Without even looking, I could tell by the smell it was curry udon. What's up with the selection? Great! I was just having a craving for curry. Lucky! He began to eat noisily, sending broth flying as he slurped up the noodles. Oops, I can't have my my Buster's jumper getting dirty. I guess I'll take it off. He took off his jumper and draped it over the back of his chair. Then he resumed slurping. So it's okay to get your undershirt dirty? But geez, Masato can really wolf it down, too. Huh, he probably thinks everything he puts in his stomach goes straight to his muscles. No way. My triceps feel like Mr. Beans, don't you think? What? Are you saying you're Rowan Atkinson? Whoa. Yaha, Riki good. Haruka-san, you surprised me. She just loves springing out of nowhere, doesn't she? Hello, Kengo-kun, Kyosuke-san, and Rin-chan too. What are you here for, Saigusa? Yaha, Masato-kun, feeling good? Not after seeing your face. Leave. What? Just by seeing my face? Masato glanced at the tray Haruka-san was holding. Huh, you got the same udon as me. That must be a bad omen. The quantity is completely different, though. Hey, watch this! She took an egg with her left hand and hid it on the edge of her bowl. I don't get it. Yeah! Using only her left hand, Haruka-san cracked the egg and dropped the yolk neatly into the bowl. Whoa! Saigusa, amazing! Masato's voice was a mixture of surprise and admiration. Cracking an egg with one hand looks easy, but it's actually pretty hard. Haruka-san proudly puffed out her chest a little. Shall I do it for Masato-kun as well? Oh, one in each hand! With an egg in either hand, Haruka-san cracked them both and emptied their contents into the bowl. This time her face shone in a super prideful look. Somehow it made me smile. Hey, Riki-kun! Aren't I amazing? I'm amazing, aren't I? Yes, you're brilliant. Even though my words didn't sound heartfelt, Haruka-san still seemed happy. Is there a trick to it? Nope. Practice, that's all there is to it. Practice. Practice. You've got to practice it. I wondered why the word practice suddenly sounded even more insignificant when it was coming out of her mouth. Shall I crack Riki-kun's egg as well? Sure, thanks. Though you really just like doing it, right? Don't worry about it, just leave it to me. As usual, she didn't listen to a word I said. Like this! The egg made a small noise as it cracked open and spilled its contents into my bowl. Thanks, Haruka-san. Oh, Riki, you got lucky. About what? There's 2 yolks in your egg. It's a twin egg. Ah, you're right. I guess I did get lucky. It's so rare to find a double yolk egg, especially in the cafeteria eggs. This really must be your lucky day. Riki, can I trade my normal egg, which I already mixed into the udon, for yours? What? No way. I'm not gonna trade away this great feeling. Come on, you should at least try to make your offer more attractive than that. Masato and I got caught up in the topic. What's wrong, Saigusa? Setting down his chopsticks, Kengo cut into the conversation. What? What's up with you? Hey, Kengo! What? She didn't catch your question. Why don't you ask her again? Kengo muttered something to her in a low voice. It was so quiet I couldn't make it out at all. I couldn't make it all out, sorry. Because you look like you're spacing out. I'm not spacing out, okay? Haruka-san tried to assert herself while shaking her head frantically. Her smile looked a little wooden. Really? All right then. Riki-kun, were you amazed by my crazy skills? I was. It was totally surprising, right, Masato? Yeah, it's just like Saigusa to have such an incomprehensible skill. Yay! I was praised! By the way, aren't you going to eat, Haruka-san? Sorry, I forgot. I was on my way to help out in the kitchen. Sorry, the lunch lady is gonna be mad. I'll entrust this udon to Masato. Hey, Saigusa! Haruka-san hurriedly stood up from her seat and left. Did she come over just to show off her egg cracking skills or what? Yeah, I'm sure she just wanted to show it to us. I let out a strained laugh. Well, whatever, at least I got another udon out of it for free. That and the eggs. Thanks for the meal. Aw, my kitty's chomping on his food. Kengo finished eating. I looked, and sure enough, his undershirt was flecked with curry sauce. He then pulled his jumper back on. Masato. What? That stuff you're putting in your udon, that's not soy sauce. It's Worcestershire. What? We looked at the label on the cap. Worcestershire. And it was a strong blend. No, I did it on purpose. Yeah, it's good like this. It wasn't an accident or anything. If anything, it's actually better this way. Nice bluff. No, that's not it. Actually, I was just honestly curious to know how it tastes. Want a taste? Yes, I'll help myself to a sample. Masato pushed the bowl toward Kengo. Kengo took up his chopsticks again. It's not bad. Actually, this is delicious. It's perfect. Seriously? Hey, let me try it too. Even my curiosity had been piqued. Masato and I took turns trying out the udon sauce. What? It was an overpowering flavor, sure to give anyone heartburn. Ha ha, there's no way it would taste good. Man, we walked right into that one. Guess all we could do is smile and forgive. I know, right? Well, let's eat. While soothing Masato's wounded pride, I gazed into my small bowl. Twin yolks. I stuck my chopsticks into the 2 yolks, floating together amongst the egg white, and stirred them up. Then I remembered Haruka-san's expression earlier. I didn't understand it at all. I shook my head and let the eggs slip into the broth of the kitsune udon. The sun was shining strongly today. As expected, I was getting sleepy after lunch. I sat down on the bench and let out a yawn. Huh? From far away, I heard a loud shout. Wait, this pattern is... Really? She's only fast when it comes to running away. She should still be nearby. Keep searching. Disperse. The armband-wearing prefects were running here and there across the courtyard. They're such eager beavers, even during lunch break, aren't they? What? Yaha! Riki-kun? Geez, don't surprise me like that, Haruka-san. I twisted my neck around to see her standing there. I didn't really mean to surprise you. I've been here the whole time. No way, since when? Since before you sat down? I even managed to get your fly down without you noticing. What? I checked my slacks in a panic. Huh? Wait, it's not down. Ah ha ha, just joking. Haruka-san cackled with laughter. What's this? Riki-kun, your face is bright red. Hey, was that embarrassing? Hey, are you embarrassed? Please don't say such crazy things all of a sudden. Sheesh. You're weird. Even if you're seen, it's nothing to be that ashamed of, right? That's not the issue. Girls shouldn't be saying those kinds of things. Whatever. Looks like I made you mad. Haruka-san stuck her tongue out at me, looking completely unrepentant. Riki-kun, do you wear boxers? Yeah. Wait, why are you asking that? I just wanted to check. Please don't ask such illogical questions. Something wrong with that? Yes. Suddenly, something descended on my neck. Haruka-san? So boring. Hold on, Haruka-san. For some reason, Haruka-san was resting her chin on top of my head. Unable to keep still, she was moving her head back and forth, forcing my neck to move along with her. What is it, Riki-kun? My neck hurts and... Since before, her body was pressed tightly against my back, but of course I couldn't say that. You're heavy. In reality, Haruka-san, with her arms draped over my shoulders, wasn't heavy at all. Girls are actually pretty light. Haruka-san nodded but didn't move. What are you moaning about? I'm trying to see what the world looks like from Riki-kun's viewpoint. It doesn't look the least different, the scenery from here. It would be strange if you and I were seeing completely different things. You never know. Maybe if I do this, I'll be able to see a skyfish. A skyfish? What's with that? It's fluttery and hard to see. And when it swoops, it goes, "Ga, ga, goes young." I doubt there are any flying things that make those kinds of sounds. Can't we see them? For some reason, it seems they've only been captured on film. We can't see something like that. Aren't those just after images of flying bugs? Most supernatural phenomena had easy explanations like that. That's right! I think so too. Haruka-san rubbed her chin on the top of my head as she answered. After she had looked so intent on their existence, that was a rather anticlimactic comment. Things that have have an explanation are boring, or so they say. But I think it can be fun trying to change your viewpoint anyway. Things we already understand are boring regardless. Really? I think even things we supposedly understand can be fun. You know, there are as many viewpoints on the world as there are people. Hence, I believe we can't rule anything out as impossible. That's why I think it's fun. Does that make me strange? I guess it might just be a little strange. Which reminds me, what was I supposed to be doing? I have a guess, if you care to hear it. Huh? What? Tell me. Weren't you running from the disciplinary committee? I fell back with a flop. Haruka-san, whom I'd been leaning against, had abruptly stood up. That's it, that's it! Oh my god, I almost forgot about that! Recently, because of Gandalf, the prefects keep catching me. It's tough going up against the nose of a dog. Seriously, they tail you anywhere. What did you do this time? I was scattering some magnetic marbles around. And then, get this, I was a powerful magnet into the prefect's armbands. Magnets? I sewed them in. The culprit herself laughed just remembering it. No, really, it was a masterpiece. It's not something to laugh about. Why are you picking a fight with them again? Senpai, Saigusa Haruka is over there. Following the blow of a whistle, the prefects were suddenly swarming towards us, for some reason, moving rather stiffly. What? They found me! Well then, we'd better part here. See you, Riki-kun. Well, wait, Haruka-san. She's already that far. Saigusa Haruka, you've done it again. Senpai, Saigusa-san is already over there. What? Get her, get her! Yes, sir! Moving their feet in unison with rhythmic noise, the prefects trot off together in pursuit of Haruka-san. Wait, so that means all the prefects were running together in an awkward fashion. Oh, geez. It must be hard to run with your armbands stuck together. It would have been better to just take them off. They must have been too upset to think about it. I wondered, watching them, if they'd keep up the chase all lunch break long. Another day over. As I was pondering on this, my breast pocket vibrated. Mail? I wonder who it's from. I'll be waiting in the meeting room. HS, it says. Well, well, what to do? We are going to head to the meeting room. I headed toward the usual meeting room. It was a place for board and committee meetings, but now it was silent. Isn't anyone here? I thought of heading back, but since I was already here, the door rattled as I slid it open. Excuse me. Wait, there's no one here. The meeting room was deserted. What now? It was a bit of a letdown. Haruka-san? Are you here? I heard a snore. Huh? Looking closely, I saw the form of a human draped over the teacher's desk. I hadn't noticed her at first because her head was slumped under what looked like a book of... Wait, what? A book of minutes? Sleeping in a place like this. Half full of amazement, I approached the teacher's desk. I looked at the blackboard. The unintelligible, it's all messed up. The meeting of the maintenance committee. Or so the hastily scribbled letter said. The title of the meeting was written mostly artistically, stretching far to the left and right. Other than that, nothing else was written on the blackboard. What is up with that? Perplexed, I tried to wake Haruka-san up. Hey, it's dangerous to sleep in here. What exactly was dangerous about it? Well, it's just not good to sleep like this, period. I brushed off my own question. Her snoring sounded rather silly. Hey, wake up already! I raised my voice. No. This isn't working. I raised both my hands. I knew it was incredibly rude to touch a sleeping girl, but she left me no choice. I lightly shook her shoulders. With a thump, the record book she had been sleeping under fell away. I picked it up and placed it back on her head. Are you awake now? I think so. You think so? Smiling wryly, I took up the minutes book and looked at it. Pure white. Nothing had been written in it. It should have been a record of the meeting, but it was blank. Morning! It isn't morning, it's already evening. Huh? Hadaka-san rubbed her eyes. As she did that, her ponytail is unintentionally ponytails unintentionally swung back and forth. The yawning girl appeared to still be more asleep than awake. All right, let's get the meeting started then. Started? Over there, sit! Hadaka-san pointed at the chair nearest the front. Sit! I went and sat down in the seat she had assigned to me. This chair, it doesn't sit straight. The chair wobbled back and forth. Its balance was pretty bad. You need the teacher's permission if you want to exchange seats. Right. Now that you mention it. I looked up at the listless Hadaka-san. In an attempt to pump herself up, she slapped her own cheeks. That appeared to wake her up a bit. All right, so can I switch seats? To get new seats, we'll need approval from the student council's executive committee. So then, what does the maintenance committee even do? We fix broken chairs and things like that. Really? I guess. You guess? Could be. The possibility exists. Maybe. Give me a break. I just wanted to try saying that. Okay, I get the picture already. From on top of the teacher's desk, Hadaka-san tossed her record book my way. Whoa! I caught it with a thump. For now, just record the minutes, Riki-kun. All right, I got it. She tossed me a pen as well. Don't just throw things. Haven't you been taught how to handle things properly? Sorry, but you needed it, right? Be that as it may, I opened the book to the first page. I scrawled maintenance committee meeting at the top. Which number will this meeting be? Doesn't really matter. There's been so many meetings I've lost track. Are you for real? Well, whatever. I'll just write today's date. After writing that, I glanced up at Hadaka-san. Hey, Hadaka-san? What, Riki-kun? Aren't there other members? Well then, first we should decide on a committee president. It's just the two of us here. Are there really no others? Want to be the president, Riki-kun? I'll pass. All right then, it'll be me. Hurry up and write that, she urged me. President, Saigusa Hadaka. Well then, next we should decide on a vice president. Like I said, there's only the two of us. Wanna be the vice president, Riki-kun? I'll pass. All right then, Riki-kun it'll be. Hurry and write that, she urged me. Come on and write it. We won't get this finished otherwise. But I don't. I cast a furtive? What? Look over my shoulder. I honestly don't know what that word is. There wasn't anyone there. Is there someone behind you you're talking to? There's no one there. I let out a sigh. I knew I should have gone back to the dorm. Don't say that. You're really helping out here. It only seems that way to you, Hadaka-san. I sulkily put my hands behind my head and leaned back in my chair. Uh-oh. The chair squeaked as it rocked. So what exactly am I helping out with? We'll start right now. One of the teachers asked us to fix up the flower beds in the front of the school gate. Eh? That said, give me a hand, Vice President-san. Seeing Hadaka-san's smiling face weakened my desire to resist. Ah! Reading! No! Brain! What about the flower beds do we need to fix? First, we'll need to fix the perimeter. We got a late start, so we'll need to continue early tomorrow to finish. Hadaka-san tossed her bag over by the curb and squatted down by a flower bed. What, in the morning? Lunch break works too. She handed me a bundle of wire, then pulled some cutters out of her skirt pocket. She started clipping the wires down to a uniform size. She was cutting them about the length of her forearm. And then she planted one end of the wire into the soil of the flower bed, then bent it into an arch. You do that! What do we do with the old ones that have fallen over? Pick them up! They could be used to patch up the fence later. She kept putting down one arch after another with experienced motion. She also picked up the old, fallen, and rusty ones, twisting them a few times to make them straight before handing them over to me. Haruka-san, do you like gardening? Not in particular. The wire cutters made a loud and usual sharp snip, as she clipped the larger one. While picking up the wire scraps, Haruka-san answered, It's just something I've done enough times to be used to it. Haruka-san stuck her hand in her pocket. I heard a rough sound. What have you got there? Some nuts, bolts, and a few nails. Plus some marbles. It was strange to think there was a girl whose skirt pocket contained all of those things. For a time after that, Haruka-san worked in silence. It was hard for me to break the silence, so I kept quiet as well. Haruka-san worked so efficiently that after a while I just stood and watched. In a reasonable time, we had a nice perimeter set up along one side of the flower bed. Something like that. It turned out pretty well. Yep. This is enough for the day. Thanks for the help, Riki-kun. Is it all right to stop here? For today, we could take our time with it anyway. Haruka-san rotated her left arm to stretch it while reaching down to pick her bag up off the ground. She opened the bag and took out a paper bag. Thanks for your hard work, Riki-kun. Here's a little token of my appreciation. Yeah, thanks. What could it be? Muffins! There's chocolate chips in them. The muffins are really small, though, so I wonder if they'll be able to fill a boy's stomach. You can eat them as a night snack. I'll report our work to the teacher, so... With that, meeting adjourned. After having raised her left hand up high with the declaration, she thrust the paper bag into my hands and then headed off for the day. I watched her until she vanished into the school building. I peeked into the paper bag. Sure enough, there were lots of little muffins inside. I wonder if she made them for home economics class or something. I'll share them with Masato when I get back, I thought as I headed back to the dorms. For some reason, the class was self-study, so we headed to the special classroom. If it's a self-study, wouldn't it be easier to stay in the classroom? It'll be troublesome for the class next door if our class is noisy. Sad but true. No one needed to point out the source of our class's reputation as a particularly noisy one. If we're treated like this, we've got to take the opportunity to enjoy ourselves to our heart's content. No, we probably shouldn't. Oh, what have we here? Huh? Yeah! Wasn't expecting to meet you here, guys. Hello. Upon hearing that flippant greeting, we turned to see Haruka-san. It's Saigusa! What's with that reaction, Masato-kun? How rude! I'm just paying you the amount of respect you deserve. So, what's that thing on your back? These? They're blackout curtains. We could tell that just by looking, but why are you carrying them? 'Cause I needed a bunch of them. That's not an explanation. The bundle she had on her back was made up of several curtains haphazardly tied together. Where did you get that many of them? Let's see, the AV room, and the music room, and the physics lab. Haruka-san ticked them off on her fingers. The computer club, the occult club, and maybe the photo club? I think I'm still forgetting the one other place. Do you actually have permission for this? Of course not! Yeah! Sorry that I even asked. Plundering blackout curtains is a tradition. It's a tradition. I've never heard of a tradition like that. Well, I've got some preparations to do, so see ya! Hadaka-san threw a left-handed salute and then ducked off around the corridor with a grin on her face. She's always looking to cause problems, isn't she? You'd think she'd get bored of playing all these pranks. Isn't it the opposite? What do you mean by that, Riki? I think it's precisely so that she doesn't get bored that she just randomly jumps from one mess to another. Ah, I see. Now that you mention it, it does look that way. Each and every time, she just has to pull off some ridiculous stunt, that Saigusa. Just like you and your muscle training. What'd you say? Look, you can say whatever you want about me. But don't you dare talk smack about my muscles. The very fact that you think of yourself and your muscles as separate entities is amazing. Yup, they'll always be my one true friend. So, you won't be lonely even if we leave you alone. Eh? Wait, you don't mean to take away Riki as my roommate? Shit, but I'm not that weak. I'll be fine. Even if I'm alone, I can't give up. I've still got my muscles. I'm not really planning on leaving. After class, as I was headed toward the southern school building, I heard some noise from an unused classroom. This classroom is supposed to be empty. Kya! There's some Munyu thing in here. Yeah! Something fell over with a loud noise. I could also hear the sound of something shattering. Lights! Hit the switch! It's clammy. Yeah, don't lick me! The owners of the voices, who sound vaguely familiar, were vertibly screaming inside. The ruckus sounded like people going into a haunted house, but then it suddenly stopped. All the students standing around nearby looked at each other. Oh? The door opened and a familiar face peeked out. So it was you after all, Hadaka-san. What do you mean, after all? Hadaka-san was making a mystified face. Oh, I didn't mean anything by it. What's this all about, Hadaka-san? Oh, I was just doing an experiment inspired by Guinea Pig Sensei's lecture. To put it clearly, I was trying to make a really big pinhole camera. What? I peeked into the empty classroom and found it pitch black. On the walls, windows, and the ceiling there was black cloth. In other words, the blackout curtains. By the faint light let in by the door, I could see people crumpled up on the floor in the middle of the room. It was those first-year prefects who were always chasing Hadaka-san. Oh gosh! With pity, I realized they had all fainted. Even though I had managed to obtain such a big curtain collection. Looks like they had come to investigate, but apparently the tables had turned on them. They're such a nuisance. Jeez. This is getting boring. I guess I'll quit. What are we going to do, Riki-kun? Why are you asking me? I mean, Hadaka-san, we should return these curtains. What a bother. I'll help you, just do it. Okay, it can't be helped. I don't want Riki-kun to be mad at me. Hadaka-san reluctantly started taking down the curtains. Wait, so what was it that freaked out the prefect so much? Yeah. I looked down and saw a bunch of cats weaving figures around my feet. Is it morning already? A drowsy Rin sat up, looking bleary. Let it come here. Yeah, good morning. Here, good morning. Why is Riki here? You slept through that whole mess? Children who sleep well grow well, yup. I silently bonked Haruka-san on the head. Ow! Hey, it's not nice to pick on girls! With teary eyes, Haruka-san got back to work, finishing with the curtains just as the afternoon break was ending. There! Done! While the chime was still ringing, Masato leapt up. That was to say, he rushed over to my desk. Let's hurry up and eat. They're putting some limited edition udon on the menu starting today. I wonder if it'll have crunchy noodles. Last year, when they did that thing with the crunchy noodles, it was popular enough to almost cause a revolution. Yo-ho! Masato, I get it. There's new udon. You don't have to jump around in excitement. Here we go. Kyosuke emerged from the window. If you want to eat that special crunchy udon, you'll have to wait a while. Really? To reduce congestion, they offer the food only after the peak time. Might as well kill some time here. That said, after killing time in the classroom for a while, we then headed to the cafeteria. And that is all the time that I have for this episode, guys. So if you liked it, please give it a big thumbs up down below to let me know that you want to see more. And hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And hit that bell so that way you are notified every time that I upload as well. I love you guys so much, and I will see you next time. Bye!